Remarkable how many meeting records have been bettered. Kia ora, welcome to Te Whanganui-a-Tara, Wellington. This is Newtown Park, the venue for the Team Ledger Harcourt Capital Classic, the 21st edition of this. I'm Mark Rosanowski, and with me is Sarah Cowley-Ross, Olympian and Olympic commentator. And first of all, Sarah, we have to talk about the weather, because there's always weather here in Wellington. Quite a strong northerly today, but hopefully just easing.
Oh, look, I think actually these conditions the athletes can manage. They're used to it coming to Wellington. You expect a little bit of a breeze. We've got that today. Hopefully it settles down this evening, but I'm sure these athletes will be well prepared for these.
You must have competed in similar conditions here at Newtown Park in the past?
Yes, certainly on the back straight, trying to juggle long jump, run up, and also on the high jump fan. But, you know, these athletes are prepared for this. They'll have that, I guess, mental preparation going in today, knowing that they're coming to Wellington. But it's all game on when you step on the track. It
certainly is. And once again, like the Cook's Classic on Saturday, there are 5 bronze events for the World Athletics Continental Tour. Sarah, a real emphasis on youth tonight. What are you looking forward to the most?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to the men's 400. I think that's going to be a brilliant battle. Lex Revel-Lewis versus Tommy Tapuni. Will we see a national 400 metre record, that Sean Farrell record of 46.09 go down? Who knows? But hopefully a great battle between them. We've also got the 3,000 national championships for the juniors. And of course, I'm looking forward to the women's high jump as well.
Of course, and we actually had a countback situation in the high jump on the weekend, and the Australian, the New Zealand, we've got a few internationals here tonight. Always good to have that Anzac battle.
Isn't it? And it's wonderful to see, you know, the national champion in Imogen Skelton come out today. We've got Aussie, who was 8th at the World Juniors last year. A great performance, as you said, a good battle in Cooks. And also we've got Maddie Wilson in the fold in the high jump tonight as well. National heptathlon champion, and also a very handy high jumper as well.
And speaking of juniors, World Under-20 champion in the triple jump, Ethan Olivier, is here again, as is his older brother, Valerie. So it's time to get it underway with a real emphasis on the track tonight here at the Team Ledger Harcourt Capital Classic of 2025. And things have been happening nicely here over the last hour and a quarter. We've had some events that we'll keep you up to date with as we go on and look back on what's happened over the past hour. And probably the most interesting thing that has happened has been the men's high jump, and we've got the women's high jump coming very shortly. And Sarah Cowley-Ross, when you and I get together, big things happen in the high jump. We've got a record, you and me.
Yeah, we do. It's great, and it's great to be here sitting alongside you. Great to have the international athletes here at the Capital Classic in 2025, and the Australians putting on a show in the high jump.
They have been putting on a show in the high jump, and 2 metres 17 is where that bar got to, and that competition has just concluded. And Zane Patterson from the Tigers Athletic Club in Queensland, he cleared 2 metres 14. He missed his 3 attempts at 2:17. This was Ben Walker. He was the best of the Kiwis today, Sarah, and he jumped a personal best, 2 metres 7.
Yeah, great to see that PB from Ben Walker out of Old Boys United. This is Larson, Connor. And he also jumped to PB, 2:11.
The great thing about Larson is that he was competing along with Patterson on Saturday night, and he jumped only 197, but today a 2:11 personal best. And with Patterson, he jumped 2 metre 15 personal best the weekend before he came out, so 2:10, not a bad return. Cook's Classic, and 2:14, even better again. And Sarah, just having a look at his attempts, and obviously very, very pleased to get over that 2:14. But his attempts at the 2:17, how far away do you think he is?
Oh, I think for him, this coming to New Zealand and these results are really promising. It's really hard to come off the back of a PB and then go again and trying to attempt more PB height. So I think the fact that he's seen the bar at 2:17, he can visually now put himself in that position where he can alter things as we see him here. And you know, he had some good cracks at it, which is great to see.
He most certainly did, and he'll be delighted he's out here, along with Connor Larson as well, as we have the 200 metres just concluding, and that was taken out by, if I can find the right, it's an event we weren't necessarily going to take, but they were a couple of minutes behind going into that particular event. But I don't have that bib number in my lineup, but Sarah will.
Yes, I think that's Harry Williamson there. Williamson, great to see the collection of younger athletes representing the New Zealand Secondary Schools Classics Tour.
Watching him power around the bend in the widest lane of all and holding them all at bay over the concluding stages. Now, coming up on the track very shortly, we've got the first of our under-20 national championships over the 3,000 metres tonight. Sarah, we're beginning with the women's under-20. That's due to go at 6:55, so we're only about 3 minutes away from start time there. And there are three field events about to get underway, the three that we're covering tonight. The Whitby Collegiate Javelin starting at 7 o'clock. And we also have two bronze World Athletics Continental Tour events, the Team Ledger Harcourts World Athletics Continental Tour bronze women's high jump. That starts at 7:10. Just prior to that, over in the back straight, the men's triple jump, which will feature Ethan Olivier, the world under-20 champion, the New Zealand champion who jumped 16:60 in his last round at Cook's Gardens on Saturday night. And Sarah, I know you're particularly excited about the women's high jump, given your background there, and hopefully another sterling addition with Imogen Skelton and Toby Stolberg having to be separated on count back at the weekend.
Yeah, wonderful to have Toby Stolberg over World Junior finalist last year. I just actually stood next to her at the bathroom sink, and my goodness, she's tall timber, and it's wonderful to have her here in New Zealand. Keep an eye out for Maddie Wilson as well. She's got a season best of 181, the heptathlete. She's already been in action over this pre-program as we see the high jumpers measuring their run-ups there. But it'll be a good battle. The national champion Imogen Skelton, season best so far 179 at Cook's, but she'll need a bit more than that tonight, I think.
Personal best of 187 at the ITM meeting in Christchurch last year, and she's the reigning national champion with 1.85 metre, so probably building into a season nicely, Sarah, with obviously we're in the middle of our classics week here in the lower North Island, but the summer circuit continuing, and obviously we've got the nationals to look forward to in the second part of March, or second week of March. Women's javelin, and we have with the 600-gram javelin, Mia Bartlett, Chelsea Moananu and Rebecca Bailey, and also one contestant in the under-18 throwing the 500-gram implement, and that'll be Juliet McKinley, a 16-year-old out of Palmerston North, running for the New Zealand Secondary Schools Athletics Tour team. And there she is there with a season best of 42.57 with the 500-gram. She threw 35.90 at the weekend at the Cooks. Rebecca Bailey threw 41.61 there at the Cooks Classic to take that out.
Great to see the officials out there doing their bit to make this competition happen. We certainly couldn't bring you this coverage without we'll bring you this competition without the Amazing voluntary service of the volunteer officials.
So things about to crank at both ends of the stadium, and on the track we're about to get underway for the Athletics New Zealand Women's Under 23,000 metre Championship. Speaking of officials, bang on start time, Sarah. They're off at 6:55.
That's great. That's what every meeting director wants, and every broadcast as well. But this is a field of 14 we have here in this national championship. Under 23,000, coming to you from the 2025 Team Ledger Capital Classic.
Courtney Fitzgibbon leading out early as they come past us. Lying second at the moment is Kate Curry as they settle into a rhythm. Kate, one of the tallest amongst the group. 18-year-old out of Christchurch Avon, running in the New Zealand Secondary Schools Tour Singlet. She ran a 9:46.50 at just an interclub competition back in November. She was fourth in the New Zealand Secondary Schools last month.
Certainly Curry is one to watch, a medalist in 2024 in the 5,000 and 10,000 at the National Champs. So we settle into this race.
Ava Sutherland lying third at the moment, and Sienna Mackley just on her back lying fourth. And Jacqueline Koleski rounds out the top five in single file here. Willie McFadzean rounding out the top six, and the order staying static for now. Scarlett Robb was initially down to run here. She's still listed to run in the 1500 later, so I hope to see her. She's been doing some extraordinary things as a 16-year-old.
And it's going to be a great race this evening. The women's 1500, certainly a feature, and lots of internationals as well, with the likes of Rob and Bo Ritchie, two talented junior athletes stepping up to the senior ranks.
Yes, and they'll certainly be pushed along to a decent time, you would think, given the quality of that field. Some of the runners, of course, coming out of the Cook's Mile on Saturday night. Lyndon Hall, the winner of that, not here tonight, but second, third and fourth runners all are. Still Courtney Fitzgibbon setting the pace in this 3,000 metre national championship under 20. Kate Curry happy to settle in behind, and most looking to run the pole line for the most part. Just Millie McFadzean one off at the moment. Group of 9 runners pulling clear and in single file into the back straight. Out in the field, warm-ups concluding for the women's javelin. Will be underway shortly, and over in the back straight, the triple jumpers warming up, and there's a good gathering in the back straight bank there. Sarah looking for a decent vantage point to see a world under 20 champion, which you don't get too many opportunities to see.
No, and an Olympian last year in Paris. It's wonderful to have the Olivier brothers back. Father Victor's dropped me at the track this afternoon. He's the coach, and they're all set for the New Zealand Classic Series, heading into the national champs as well.
They're staying right through?
Yes, I believe so, and Ethan is a finalist at the Halbergs in the Emerging Talent.
Cool.
So he'll be suited up for that too.
Very nice. Starting to bunch up now in the 3,000 metres as things start to crank up a notch, and Sienna Mackley has run through to take over from Kate Curry.
So these are our javelin throwers this evening being introduced, just for competitors there. Juliet McKinlay, Mia Bartlett, Chelsea Moana-Nu and Rebecca Bailey.
We'll pick up the early stages of the javelin shortly. Our concentration on the Athletics New Zealand Women's 23,000 metre Championship in action at the moment, with Sienna Mackley out of Queenstown leading with a PB of 9:53.51, which was good enough for 6th at the New Zealand Secondary School. She's got a couple of age group mountain running titles. Here's Sienna. Kate Curry currently lying in 2nd spot, and Ava Sutherland currently 3rd as they come through the start finish once again. Fourth there is Millie McFadzean. Courtney Fitzgibbon, the pacemaker, has stepped out of the contest. And we're down to a field, well, effectively 6 runners, Sarah, down the back straight, who are sorting themselves out for the medals.
Yeah, Sienna Mackley of Queenstown Athletics. She's got a handful of medals last year in the under-18 National Championships, silver in the 1500, silver in the under-18 cross-country, also that 3,000 you mentioned, and also she's the New Zealand Junior Mountain Running Champion as well. So talented runner. As this pack of 6 goes into their work.
She'll be looking to use her strength on mountain running.
Yep.
Makes me gasp just thinking about it. Kate Curry, though, has decided to kick here and takes control of the race. So Kate has put a bit of a break on this field now. Opening up over Sienna Mackley. 2 laps left to run. Ava Sutherland lying 3rd and pulling clear of Millie McFadzean. Jackie Kowaleski and running alongside her is Olivia Clay McDowell. Kate's opened up a big break here. Sarah really put a big gap on them with about 600 metres to go.
Yeah, she has, and she's got great strength as well. A great 5K PB in the end of 2024 at the Night of Fives, running 16:36. So she'll be looking to use that strength as she has got 500 metres to go in this Junior National Championship.
Good battle 2nd and 3rd at the moment with Sienna Mackley and Ava Sutherland. And also trying to stay in the fight, Millie McFadzean, who's moved to 4th. So they get the bell. Kate with a handy lead, but Sienna Mackley still with something to offer. Ava Sutherland trying to hang on to her.
So Mackley was 5 seconds behind Curry at the bell. Curry just looking down a little bit, struggling there, but will the gap be too far for Mackley?
Mackley certainly running smoothly and making some inroads. Kate had a quick look over her shoulder there. It's hurting, but she has picked it up coming down the side. Sienna Mackley closing, but it's still a 20-metre gap. Ava Sutherland's holding 3rd. Kate Curry Up the home straight now. Close to home, and she'll do enough. Kate Curry comes through to win the Women's Under-20 National Championship over Sienna Mackley, a brave second, and Ava Sutherland will come through to take third. Fourth to go through, Olivia Clay McDowell, who finished extremely well. Millie McFadzean, next one through. Followed there by Jackie Kowaleski. And Emma Loudon. Lucy Mabin. And Courtney Fitzgibbon, who set the early pace. Kate Curry, 18-year-old out of Christchurch Avon Club. Completing there is Izzy De Gea.
Great sign there by Kate Curry's friend. Great to see the support and people coming down to Newtown Park to cheer these athletes on. Kate Curry is your national champion in the under-20 3,000 metres for 2025.
And we'll have the men's edition a little later in the program. That's set down for 10 minutes to 8. We'll get those times through for you just as soon as we can for the 3,000 metres. Now Victor there, Kate Curry. So
a really decisive move there by Curry with 2 laps to go. And she just really put that pedal down, and it was good night nurse, but a valiant effort there by Mackley to come back. She finished really strong.
She did. She looked smooth over the last lap, and Kate was clearly hurting. She'd done enough, but she did have to lift from the back straight down the side there, and she held that gap to a decent mark. Here's young Juliet McKinley, 16-year-old, throwing the 500-gram implement in the under-18 section of the javelin. Juliet with a personal best 42.57 through 35.90 at the Cooks Classic at the weekend, and that throw there looks in that sort of region.
And of course we're missing our Olympic javelin thrower from Paris last year and Capital Classic record holder Tori Peters, new name in 2025, Tori Morby, married in December. As we see the start list now for the men's open 200 metres.
Ranko Haggard in lane 1, Kevin Syriac in 2, Joshua Atagoki in 3, Jonathan Maples in 4, Angus Liver in 5, 6 is Matthew Roger, 7 Jackson Rogers, and 8 from South Africa, Jesse Josias. Now, Matthew Roger, new name in lane 6 for me, so I'll write that one down. Angus Liver, of course, the reigning national senior men's champion after his shock win, shall we say, Sarah, in a high-quality field. Angus, of course, the reigning decathlon champion, and that was a stunning performance in that 200 last year.
Yeah, wasn't it? He's certainly one to watch, Angus Liver, a great decathlete in the making, and great to see him out here at the Team Leger Capital Classic along with the other competitors in this 200.
So lane number 5 for Angus Liver. Jackson Rogers looked good at the Cooks Classic. He finished 4th in a decent field at 21.49. His best set in Christchurch 2023 of a 21.36. He ran a 10.6100 in Nelson. And Jonathan Maples looked in reasonable shape too at the weekend in his hometown of Wanganui.
And that's Rebecca Bailey there, member of the New Zealand Secondary Schools touring party in the women's javelin.
They'll be called to their marks shortly. Jesse Josias, a 22-year-old out of South Africa, out in lane number 8. He ran at the Wellington Twilight meeting here just over a week ago. He clocked a 10.77 for the 100 metres. He's got a personal best of 21.57 for the 200 set back in 2021. Has run as quick as 10.44 for the 100. I'm just not sure if Jesse's out there. He hasn't been scratched from the program, but behind the pole vault cover, I'm not sure if he's there. Don't think he is.
I think he is actually.
He is there on 8?
Yeah.
Okay. And they're underway. Angus Liver in lane number 5, coming through underneath Matthew Rogers. Jesse Josias out in lane number 8, running strongly on the bend. Jonathan Maples coming strongly as well, but Angus Liver is going to come through and win. Second home, Jackson Rogers, another good run from him with Jonathan Maples, and then Jesse Josias. Angus keeping up his good form. He ran second to Tommy Tapuni in a 21.26 at the weekend. And we will get his time shortly for tonight.
So we see here Angus Liver storming to victory in Wellington. Nice long strides when he opens up, as did Jackson Rogers, who is just worryingly touching that left or right hamstring. Both coached by James Sandilands. And let's hope Jackson's okay. But another good run by him as well as Jesse Josias on the outside. Back to the women's javelin. And this is Chelsea Moananu.
Chelsea getting it out around the 35 metre mark. She's an 18-year-old from the Kiwi Club. She was second in the Youth National here with a 500-gram implement, 40.82 back in 2023. With the 600-gram, 37.49 her best, which was quite recent here.
So the javelin is in its third round, and Chelsea's best throw was her second throw once this one is recorded, and that was 33.48 in round 2, but she's just surpassed that with that throw we just showed you, 34.60.
Terrific. Here's Rebecca Bailey about to throw. Rebecca so far a 39.21. Listed as a personal best, and 35.46 is her second throw. That was her third. Angus Liver clocking at 21.39 there. Sarah in the 200 over Jackson Rogers, 21.53. Jonathan Maples third, and Jesse Josias home in fourth spot.
Just note the wind reading there, plus 5.2.
It's a good gust.
So Rebecca Bailey is currently leading that competition with that 39-metre throw. Personal best. As we go to the other end of the stadium and we see the women's high jumpers, as we draw your attention now to the start list in the women's open high jump.
And we're up to a field of 7 for this, with Taylor Trower, Olivia Norris-Spring, Amber Trower, Jess Hendren, Maddie Wilson, Toby Stolberg and Imogen Skelton. And it's going to be a handy field, Sarah, and not the easiest to pick a winner. Obviously Imogen and Toby both over 179 at the weekend. Maddie, of course, can jump well into the 180s as well, and
I think certainly the right foot takeoff jumpers will just have that slight advantage. If you can see the windsock there in the background, when they come round their curve, they will still have a nice little tail behind them. So maybe that might come into play if we go down to the wire. Hopefully we'll see some 1 metre 80 plus jumps tonight as we prepare for the presentation of the 3,000 metre runners.
Taylor Trower over. The opening height. Just quickly back to Rebecca Bailey. Now, I think that the personal best hadn't been updated from the Cooks at the weekend, where she won with 41.61, and that was with the 600 gram implement. So she's certainly in a good vein of throwing form anyway. 41.61 at the weekend, and then close to 40 metres again tonight.
Great to have that backup after the PB. It's brilliant throwing.
And we wonder what sort of backup we'll get from our triple jumpers tonight in the back straight, with a pretty handy field of 8 there too, including an Australian who was out here last season and performed really well to test the Olivia brothers again. Women's Open 200 metres in lane 2, Juliet McKinlay, lane 3, Emily Jackson, lane 4, Sasha Kilmister, lane 5, Michaela Fitty, lane 6, Brianna Stevenson, who's been busy here tonight already, Georgia Gibbons in lane 7, and Kate Borton in lane number 8.
Yes, Stevenson second place tonight in the long jump, 5.98, a season best there for the heptathlete, coming off a massive heptathlon personal best a few weeks ago at the Queensland State Champs, over 5,700 points. And she'll be busy tonight, as all the multi-eventers will be in these meetings.
Quite compact program, Sarah, so there's not much time.
Got a few quick shoe changes.
So taking the blocks. And the Women's Open 200 metres. And underway, good start there from Brianna Stevenson's quickly up on the shoulder of the runners to the outside. Michaela Fitty looking to come through underneath her, and Sasha Kilmeister also making ground around this bend. But it's Brianna Stevenson who's opened right up here on Georgia Gibbons, who's holding down second. But Stevenson away for a big win on Georgia Gibbons. And in for third, Kate Borton in lane 8.
It's a great run there by Brianna, 25 years old and multiple medalist at the national champs. She's the national champion in the hurdles, but she looked brilliant over 200 as we see the replay here. Coming home very strong.
Tell you that the triple jump competition is underway. We'll get some of that for you shortly. But Ethan Olivier, 16.05 with his first attempt with a following wind of 2.3, and Valerie Olivier 14.92. Tita Anang out of Australia recorded a no jump in the first round. High jump bar at 164, Sarah. So when would you expect everyone to come in reasonably early?
Well, I think you just come in early, make sure you're on the score sheet and get into your work, get your rhythm. It's not the warmest of nights. I have been colder in Wellington, but it's good to stay warm and get into it as we go to the men's triple jump. Can't quite get that one away.
Ari Kisharia, who in the first round recorded 13.06. He got to 13.70 at the Cooks at the weekend and finished fifth. He's got a youth high jump title to his name, has Ari, over 194 at the high jump. Triple jump his focus tonight. Bronze medalist as a youth national, and second is Arne Bowden at the New Zealand secondary schools with his personal best of 13.88. Here's the field for that men's open triple jump. Team Ledger Harcourts World Athletics Continental Tour bronze event tonight, one of 5. Leon Roger, Connor Gilliland, Ari Kesharia, who we just saw, Mirza Abbas Hussain, Ryan Young, Valerie Olivier, his younger brother Ethan, and Tita Anang out of Australia, who last year finished 4th at the Sir Graham Douglas meeting last March with a 16.21. Muzarabas just running through the triple jump there. Maybe they're just having a little trouble with that wind gusting around. Sarah said something startling earlier about the varying winds in the women's long jump, which was an earlier competition tonight. Yeah, the winds in the women's long jump varied from plus 4.4 to minus 1.4. And there was that plus 5.2 you pointed out before with Angus Liver's 200-metre win tonight, and a 21.39 over Jackson Rogers and Jonathan Maples. About 6 minutes away from one of the key events of the night, which will be the 400-metre men's, featuring Tommy Tapuni and Lex Revel-Lewis. Two young men in a big hurry and wanting to break Sean Farrell's record of 1998, or set in 1998. And tonight may not necessarily be the opportunity given the conditions. Anything is possible. After seeing James Preston run here last year at the National Champs in quite horrendous conditions, Mark, yes, anything is possible, and hopefully these boys, it's just wonderful to see this rivalry develop, and this is the first time that they've lined up in such a long time, and I just want to see them go out and have a real gritty contest. Indeed. As we see Amber Trout over at the women's high jump, which is a bronze level meeting. So Lex Revel Lewis will be in lane number 6. He's the reigning national champion with a 46.56 win here last March. He also claimed silver in the 200 there. His 46.12 best was at the Sir Graham Douglas last March, and it's the 3rd fastest of all time. Tommy Tapuni's got the 9th fastest time of all time with his 46.28. He ran a 21.18 at 200 at the Cooks there. It looked really good, Tommy. And he's been in really decent early season form.
So Tommy sort of started early this season, set some great times, and then this man here in the last few weeks, Lex Revel Lewis, with the bib number 217 in January, opened his season with his 2nd fastest time ever, so 46.22. He said, I had a pretty terrible race actually, and if I get my race plan right, I'm going to smash the national record. Then he's gone on to say this his race plan, which is at 300 he wants to go through in 32.7 and close in 12.6. Well, that adds up to 45.3, so we'll see what happens very shortly. We
will indeed. Some internationals in here as well. Cameron Moss in lane number 2, 30-year-old out of Victoria. His PB was set some 10 years ago. He's had a few injury troubles over the last few years. Toby Walker out of the Albury Club, which is just on the border of New South Wales and Victoria, with a best of 49.73 in lane 3. And Hunter Dale, American bib number 126, the 48.63 best in February last year, set in Boston. Here's an update on the women's open javelin.
Competed at 278 is Moananu.
Best today of just over 34. She did set her PB recently here in Wellington about 9 days ago with a 37.49. Juliet McKinlay throwing the 500 gram, and she's currently 35.57. She threw 35.90 at the Cooks, so not too far off that.
And those javelin competitors are into their 6th round and final round at that.
Mia Bartlett with her latest throw.
This is Maddie Wilson at the women's high jump, early stages.
Comfortable clearance.
Been in action in the hurdles already tonight.
So the men are waiting to be called to start the Team Ledger Harcourts World Athletics Continental Tour Bronze event. Just an opportunity to see Toby Stolberg out of Ipswich. A comfortable early clearance. Sarah Cowley-Ross is on her feet for the 400. She means business.
Well, there's a lot of anticipation for this race, Mark, and what I've also liked is the banter between these two gentlemen, developing a great rivalry. And let's have a great one lap here at Newtown Park tonight.
Imogen Skelton there on the high jump apron as the men are called to the blocks for the 400 metres. Imogen might wait for them, she will. So they're underway in the men's 400 metres. Lex Rebel Lewis out very quickly and establishing a decent break on Tommy Tapuni, Sarah.
Yeah, Lex Rebel Lewis is not mucking around here at Newtown Park. Down the back straight. Certainly a little bit ahead of Tommy Tapuni, who is chasing him hard on the inside.
Starting to move through his gears is Tommy, but it's Lex Rebel Lewis coming down the side. Tommy Tapuni can see him, but he can see him in the distance at the moment, but he's about to make up some ground on the stagger. Lex Rebel Lewis with a big break though. Comes round the bend. Tommy Tapuni trying ever so hard. Hunter Scott home in third. Lex Rebel Lewis just tying up to the line, gets there, glances across. It's close.
It's going to be close.
It's close, Sarah.
It's going to be close.
It's close to a national record.
I'll tell you what, at 300, he went through in about 32 high. So right on what he wanted to do in terms of his race plan. Tied up a little bit over that last 50, but a great execution there from Lex Rebel Lewis over Tommy Tapuni.
And he glanced across at the watch, Sarah, and he was just starting to tie up there. He'd run so hard that opening 350 metres. And we await with anticipation the time. 46.09, Sean Farrell, 1998. Set in Wanganui.
So separating Sean Farrell and Lex Rebel Lewis is Bevan Smith at 46.10. So it's tied at the top there in the history of this race in New Zealand. And it's time for that record to go.
It certainly is. I ran against Sean, and that is a long, long time ago.
So that's Amber Trowell there at the women's high jump. Fortunate at that height.
So we're still waiting for this time. Nothing has come up.
So, as always, the back straight for the horizontal jumpers can be gusty. So a few red flags have gone up already tonight. This is Ari Kishiraya about to jump.
I keep refreshing, Sarah. I keep refreshing. Either way, it's been a tremendous run.
Oh, that was what I wanted to see from those guys, to really go out and commit hard to running. It's not pretty at 400 metres. You're going to hurt. And so you just got to leave it out there.
46.11. He's missed by 2/100ths of a second, Sarah.
Well, that is outstanding by Lex Rebel Lewis. A PB by 100. And he edges closer to that elusive record. Sean Farrell, you've still got it. But you're certainly on barrow time.
He certainly ran to what he said to you, Sarah, and he moved away from Tommy Tapuni very quickly. And look, just over the concluding stages, you're always going to tie up, obviously running that sort of speed. And he knew he was that close. But if he can do it, and if he can run 46.11 in conditions like this, then it's right there for him, isn't it?
It's all on. And speaking with his coach, Nure Greenlight, this morning, she said that they have been preparing by doing some work into the wind. And I think psychologically, this run here gives him a great boost for the season. And I know Tommy Tapuni, he'll be back as well.
He will indeed. Tommy's second with 46.96. Hunter Scott home third, and the first of the internationals was Cameron Moss in fourth. Muzarabas Hussain with his latest jump there at the triple jump. And looking through that, Ethan Olivier, his second round jump was 16.41. That has him a long way clear of his brother, Valerie. So 46.11 for Lex Revel Lewis, meeting record. It's worth an extra bit of cash too, I think, Sarah, so that'll be handy. Over Tommy Tapuni, Hunter Scott and Cameron Moss in fourth place. Young Ethan Cass running well again there in lane 1.
Great to see that PB from Hunter Scott as well. And that's the power of, you know, these guys running really fast, is pulling everyone else through, you know, season best, personal best. It's only a matter of time before people take another step up.
Local identity and former Prime Minister of New Zealand, Bill English, here at the Harcourts Ledger Capital Classic 21st edition. So we get back to the high jump. Jess Hendren.
So the bar is at 173 in the women's high jump. And so far, Jess Hendren is the first competitor to jump at that height, and Maddie Wilson will go next. It's light work there for Maddie. We've got 4 competitors that remain in the women's high jump. This is the Australian visitor, Toby Stolberg, 173. As the jumpers jump and then wrap up.
Yes, it's become one of those nights here in Wellington. The sun left us a good while ago. Now, Valerie Olivier, the older of the Olivier brothers, at the age of 22 on the runway. Again, jumping through, and he is theatrical as Valerie, the more theatrical of the two.
Yeah, I like it. You know, he shows his frustration. He wears his heart on his sleeve. And, you know, he was the national record holder before his younger brother came along and swiped it off him. So, fair enough. As we go to Imogen Skelton, not able to get over that height, the national high jump champion. She now consults Mike Ritchie, coach.
And here is Ethan Olivier, the younger brother who keeps breaking the records. And Valerie keeps reminding me, Sarah, don't forget that every record he breaks, I set it in the first place.
Exactly. I mean, the family bragging rights, actually, Victus, the coach, the dad, he was an accomplished triple jumper as well. So, gosh, you wouldn't want to be around the dinner table when the record is taken off the brother or the father, as he calls for the crowd for support.
Tricky conditions in the back straight with the wind. And it didn't look good as he goes into the pit, and just was a bit concerned about his right ankle there, Sarah.
Yeah, that I'm looking at that windsock, which is off camera, and it is going all over the show as we go to Skelton. Needs to get over this height. The bar is at 173. This is her second attempt. Wilson and Stolberg have gone over on their first.
Lex Revel Lewis accepts the medal as the winner of the 400 metres in 46.11. 2 100ths of a second outside a long-standing New Zealand record set by Sean Farrell back in 1998.
Skelton, second attempt, 173. And that's much better. Nice rhythm there, runs her curve well. And just breathes a sigh of relief there. See Kelly O'Hagan on the fence line as well. Commonwealth Games high jumper. So we go back to the men's triple jump. This is Anang. Set his personal best in 2016. So I actually think it's incredible that he's still out here, still jumping over 16. And obviously has a great love for the sport and for triple jump.
Certainly does. He'd be looking to get a measure here because he's had 2 no jumps so far. Can tell you that Ethan Olivier did spend some time sitting in the sandpit as we get back to the high jump.
So it's Jess Hendren there.
And he's actually sitting on a chair at the moment. He's chatting to his father now, the coach, and it does look like he's got some ice on that ankle, Sarah, so it could be him done for the night.
Yeah, let's hope it's nothing serious. Here's Anang.
And he'll get a measure critically in his 3rd attempt, so well done to him. He had following wins of 3.6 and 3.1 and he wasn't able to register.
So just so active there through every phase of the triple jump, really able to keep that horizontal speed as we see the brothers there.
So look at that ankle. She isn't anything on that ankle there, but he's obviously holding it out there and putting on his top. His brother Valerie and his father Victus there. But 16.41 was his 2nd round jump, and that would be enough to take the competition anyway as we get back to the track. And 100 metres, women's 100. And some key competitors here in the Collette twins and also Marielle Venida. It's Hannah Sandilands in lane 1, Michaela Fitty in lane 2, Adira Collette 3, Shale Collette 4, Marielle Venida in 5, Daisy Goodman lane 6, Emily Jackson 7, Alexandra Domansky in lane 8 and Tazana Dell in lane 9. So the track is full here, Sarah, for the women's 100 metres.
So Shale there, 2nd ranked in the 100 metre rankings for the season. Again, family bragging rights always on the line with the Collette sisters. There's Maddie Wilson at the high jump. So that's her first attempt at 177. We have 3 remaining in the women's high jump competition. Wilson, Stolberg and Skelton.
Taking their marks, Marielle Venida, 19-year-old, represented New Zealand in the 100 and 200 at the World Under-20s. And the 200 at the Cooks, finished behind Adira Collette, who's in lane 3. Shale in lane 4. And they're underway. Shale Collette away reasonably well. Marielle Venida quickly up on her as well. And Adira Collette closer in. It's Adira Collette who's pulling clear of her sister. And Adira Collette will win from Shale Collette and Marielle Venida in 3rd. 4th to go by Alexandra Domansky. Adira Collette, she ran in the 200 metres at the Cooks Classic, won that in a 24.03. And tonight she's been too strong for her sister Shale and Marielle Venida, who beat her in the 100 metres at the Nationals.
So all born in 2005. Wonderful to see the sprinting talent through. And the Collette sisters and Venida there. There's Adira there. Claims the family bragging rights for today.
Yes, she was able to at the Cooks as well, when Shale ran second to her in the 200. Adira didn't line up in the 100 that night. Shale came through and was able to win that. I have seen them dead heat, Sarah. You probably have too, which is pretty cool.
It's great. Just when you think you're going to say it's this twin's on, the other one comes through as we see Skelton there over at 177, as is Maddie Wilson. So Maddie Wilson got that on her second, and Skelton was over on her first. And that leaves Stolberg to take her second attempt at this height. And she's over too. So the bar will go up. We have 3. The ones we thought would be in it at this stage: Stolberg, Skelton and Wilson. And with Skelton clearing that on her first attempt, she moves into that pole position.
Down at the 100 metre start, there's 4 runners lined there. Number 164, Verde Kestra. Next to her, 172, Libby Lycus. Is a T37 para-athlete. Lane 6, Sasha Basimovna, T38. And in lane 7, Amy Marie Ellis, a T13 para-athlete. We do have a false start, our first false start of the night. So Verde Kistrup in lane number 4. And then our 3 para-athletes next door, and they're underway. Verde Kistrup in lane number 4. Amy Marie Ellis, T13 athlete, coming through. Followed by Sasha Basimovna and Libby Lycus.
Stolberg not able to make that next height. The bar is at 181.
So that's 2 centimetres beyond where they went at the Cooks on Saturday night, Imogen and Toby. Women's A 100 metre final result coming through, and Adira Collette in the season's best 11.83 over Sister Shale 11.94. Marielle Veneta 12.13, and Alexandra Domansky 12.39 personal best for her. She won the B200 in a personal best at the Cooks 26.07, so really good time for Alexandra Domansky.
And brilliant into a minus 1.8, so that bodes well for those women for the rest of the athletic season, and great to see all those season bests and personal bests as well. As we have Imogen Skelton, the bar is 181, and this is her first attempt. Okay, so all 3 miss on their first go at 181. Here's Stolberg on her second attempt. So the clock is running, but she's having a sit down because it's Maddie Wilson's turn. So Maddie Wilson to go. 181, second attempt. Better running around that curve. She'll need to hit that takeoff. She wants to clear that one. So hit the vertical.
Young men stepping out here, Sarah, for the men's under 23,000 metres with Harry Witt, Finnegan Strickland, Tom Piscini, Joseph Hine out of Australia, Max Wildboar, Jarvis Shaw, Charlie McDougall, Desmond Reddy, Joe Martin, expected to be prominent here, along with Caleb Wagner, who'll be over the page, Bede Colburn, Max Poland, Wilson Lee, Logan Hoffler and Lachlan McLean.
So Wagner is your defending champion from 2024. Got a raft of titles in last season in the 3,000, gold, 1,500 in the under 18, also gold, and of course this 3K title. As Stolberg rallies herself for 181. Again, a much better attempt there by the Aussie. As we go to Skelton. So, no one able to get it on their second attempt out of the 3 high jumpers. So we go back to the men's triple jump.
And the Athletics New Zealand men's under 23,000 metre championship is underway. And it's slow early, and 1 or 2 already just looking to stay off the heels of each other. And a very quiet pace through the first 200 metres. Max Poland taking the lead for now, but not with any great conviction. Caleb Wagner just dropping onto his back. Wilson Lee, the early leader, lying third.
So back to the women's high jump. Here's Stolberg, third attempt, 181. And that is the end of her day, unfortunately for the Australian.
Sitting third on countback. Max Poland leading into the front straight for the second occasion. Harry Witt to his outside. Caleb Wagner just tucked in behind them, making sure he's got room. Desmond Reddy prominent as well, so too Bede Colburn.
Skelton, third attempt, 181. Not able to clear that bar. So that will be the end of her night.
So Maddie Wilson will be the winner of the women's high jump. Imogen Skelton will take second on countback from Toby Stolberg. Both jumping 177, they both jump 179 at the weekend. Max Poland doing the leading in the 3,000 metres. Harry Witt now lying in a clear second. Caleb Wagner is third. Logan Hoffler has moved up into 4th spot. Bede Colburn currently 5th. And Desmond Reddy rounding out the top 6 at the moment. Spectacled Max Poland leading into the front straight from Harry Witt, Caleb Wagner. Bede Colburn in the Egmont shirt. Followed then by Logan Hoffler. Local runner out of Olympic. Desmond Reddy, next one through. And 75, Wilson Lee. Joseph Hines at the back of that pack, the 17-year-old Australian with a personal best of 8:45. He ran a 4:01 and changed 1500 in Sydney last month. Oh.
So Maddie Wilson over the bar at 184. A brilliant first attempt. And I did say as the women's high jump was starting, look for the right-hand jumpers, but tonight it's all Maddie Wilson, and that's a perfectly executed high jump as we go into the final stages of this junior 3,000 metre championship.
Caleb Wagner's decided that it's time to go inside the last 1,200 metres, final kilometre of the 3. And he's opened up a decent gap now on Harry Witt and Max Poland. And Bede Colburn 4th as things start to break up somewhat. Desmond Reddy lying in 5th spot.
So Wagner doing a similar tactic to what we saw in the junior women's race earlier, with Kate Curry making a break with just under over 2 laps to go. Wagner, as the defending champion, has certainly put the pressure on. Set a personal best in the 800 on the 18th of January at 1:59. So he'll look now to try and close out this race with 2 laps to go.
Tiger for punishment, because I think he ran an 8:48 3K that night as well as his PB 800. 2 laps to go, and he's just broken this race apart over the last 400 metres. Harry Witt lying 2nd. Got a personal best of 8:46.31. He set in November in Christchurch. It's for New Brighton Olympic. Down there, Max Poland, who set the early pace, he's hung in there. Currently lying 3rd. Bede Colburn and Desmond Reddy, the next pair.
But it's all Wagner here, as he really has increased the tempo. Tall athlete, has a little check behind as he approaches the bell lap. The defending champion, Caleb Wagner, out of Pakuranga.
Got a lead of about 60 metres as he hears the bell. Harry Witt and Max Poland will battle it out for 2nd and 3rd. Max Poland, a 3,000 metre steeplechase champion here at the Nationals. Desmond Reddy's now moved into a clear 4th, ahead of Bede Colburn, and the Australian making ground the back half of this, Joseph Hine. Really strong last kilometre though from Caleb Wagner. So Caleb Wagner, the men's 23,000 metre champion here, 2025, will come through in around 8:39. Harry Whitholm second, a decent sprint finish, and Max Poland steadily through in third to claim the bronze, and a good battle here for fourth with Joseph Hine, the Australian. He ran a really strong back half of the race to head in there. Desmond Reddy. Logan Hoffler next through, and then Bede Colburn. So congratulations to Caleb Wagner defending his 3,000 metre title. So the New Zealand Secondary Schools title holder. 1,500 metre title as well.
Maddie Wilson, first attempt, 187.
Now she's in personal best territory here, Sarah.
Equal. So we'll see what she can do. But if she jumps like she did on that 84, she'll certainly come close to that. So she needs to tidy up that jump a little bit. Keep those positions as we see the aftermath there of the 3,000. Athletes lying all over the track.
Tom Piscini picking himself up. Charlie McDougall just coming through and congratulating.
So great to see all the local athletes, the Olympic Carriers and Athletics Club, and lots of Wellington-based runners here stepping out on their home track for this Junior National Championship race.
Men's 1,500 will be next up on the track, and that'll be followed by the Team Ledger Harcourts World Athletics Continental Bronze Women's 1,500, which we're thoroughly looking forward to. So we had a bit of a move in the triple jump, Sarah. Ethan Olivier has retired, but Teto Anang's pulled out a 15.78 in round 4 to go to second. Ahead of Valerie Olivier, who did improve to 15.61, but now lies third, and then Ryan Young is next with 13.82 as we go back to Maddie at the high jump. Sarah, they get 3 minutes now when they're alone between jumps?
Yeah, there's an extension of time when you go from the full field down to 2, and then another extension of time when you are the sole jumper, as Maddie Wilson is. This will be her second attempt to equal her personal best, the National Heptathlon champion. Better attempt there, can't quite get over it, but she will have one more at this height. So Maddie won the Nationals last year, setting an extraordinary 7 new personal bests, the dream of every heptathlete.
Indeed. Here's the biggest field of the night, Sarah, 1,500 metres, the Roger Robinson men's 1,500. You may have been able to hear Roger's incredible voice. We'd all love Roger's voice, wouldn't we, Sarah?
Wouldn't we? Isn't he a gentleman?
Yes.
It's great to see him before the meeting started, and he was very upset about his DNF in the Cook's Mile, but...
Well, he's in his 80s, Roger. Was it his first DNF since 1990?
I do believe it was 60 years. He told me.
Very good writer too, of course. Got a couple of great books that are worth looking out for. They're in my local library, and he's got another book coming out this year as well. As we go through that men's 1,500, and we'll wait till they sort themselves out. Good to see Ben Ruth in there. We'll see son Sam in the 800 tonight.
Just 44 years young, Ben Ruth represented New Zealand at the 2005 World Cross Country Championships there in bib number 226 in the black there. And his young prodigy, his son Sam Ruth, doing extraordinary things in middle distance running right now. So, bit gusty down here, as you can see there. Maddie Wilson just using all the time she has available.
Yes, both Maddie and Valerie, who we saw in the back straight there, just waiting for the right moment for them.
Third attempt, 187, Maddie Wilson. Not to beat today, but she is the champion here at the Team Ledger Capital Classic for 2025. Some great jumping there over at 184. And a new season's best there for Maddie Wilson. Second, Imogen Skelton. And third, Towie Stolberg. Over to the triple jump.
Valerie Olivier in his sixth and final jump.
The good thing about Valerie is you know immediately if he's happy or not. Men's 1,500 metres underway.
You can see that has been a non-measure, so Teta Anang will bring the curtain down on the triple jump with his final jump, with Ethan Olivier, the leader, having retired. The tall figure of Jack Bruce, I would imagine, taking the lead here out of Australia. He ran a superb mile, second to Sam Tanner, but a 3:56.90 to earn his mile cap at the Cook's Classic there at the weekend.
Yeah, wonderful to have Jack Bruce over from Aussie, as with all the other international athletes that we see here, as he goes through in 47 for the first 300 in this 1,500.
Callum Stewart currently lying second and leading up the Kiwi charge in behind Jack Bruce, who will look to dominate this from the front. Lorcan Rabbit also prominent in the early stages of the race. Ben Ruth, 44-year-old, just clinging onto the back of that pack as well.
He worked hard to get on that pack so he didn't have to take the win by himself down that back straight.
He's been around.
He knows a thing or two and grew up in Wellington, so he's not short of knowledge and experience around Newtown Park.
Jack Bruce's personal best, 3:37.79, set in Italy 2023. Going back 11 years, he was the Oceania champion over the 1,500 metres. He had been running over more ground the last few years, but gee, ran a cracking mile, as I say, on Saturday night, tracking Sam Tanner. Callum Stewart lying second. Lorcan Rabbit, as I say, prominent. So too Tom Strawbridge, local runner who set his personal best in the Wellington Champs last year when he finished second there. He ran a 4:23 and change mile at the weekend. Many of these runners backing up.
It's all Jack Bruce as he comes down to collect the bell. Great tour of New Zealand. So he takes the bell, just a nick under 2:53.
Max Taylor's moved through into second. Walking Rabbit third. Tom Strawbridge there. And Callum Stewart still. So Bruce, all eyes on the clock for him, and he comes off the back straight. And a group of four have sorted themselves out in behind, with Strawbridge moving to second. Callum Stewart again responding. Then Rabbit and Taylor. But Jack Bruce, to receive the applause of the crowd, a front-running victory in the Roger Robinson 1500 metres, 3:53. Callum Stewart coming through in a good battle with Tom Strawbridge. Stewart to take second, Strawbridge third. Then we'll have Rabbit and Taylor. Terrific effort there from Ben Ruth. And our remaining runners coming through in the men's 1500. Preceding our Team Leisure Harcourts World Athletics Continental Tour bronze event for the women over the same distance.
Some valiant running there by Jack Bruce out the front, taking all the elements in, taking in this meeting and taking the victory here in Wellington. As we see the women's field doing their final preparations for their race, set to go very shortly.
Caleb Wagner's time for the 3,000 metres men's under 20 was 8:39.84 over Harry Witt. Max Poland setting a PB and taking the bronze in 8:53.48. Australian Joseph Hine, a very strong back half of the race from him, heading in Desmond Reddy, couple of season bests there, Logan Hoffler and Tom Cheney. Certainly told on Tom there, he was lying on the track there for a fair amount of time. And the other contestant to run a PB was Lachlan McLean down in 11th place. Just missed out on the 10 minutes, but 10 minutes, 0.37. Max Wildbore. Joe Martin didn't start. So big lineup here for the Team Leisure Harcourts World Athletics Continental Bronze Women's 1500. Looking for Alison Andrews-Paul here, who is down to be the pacemaker tonight, Sarah, after winning the Women's Mile Championship for the Kiwis. Of course, she chased home a couple of Australians. One of those was Izzy Thornton-Bott in that mile, who's here. Bridget Dennehy, of course, who was prominent in that mile as well, as was the US athlete Taylor Werner. Nina Chalmers, Saskia Cosgrove-Drayton, Paige Dobson, Sarah Hay. Bo Ritchie we look forward to seeing here, stepping up in senior company. Madison McLean, the Japanese athlete Saki Katakahara has got a 4:11.62 best. She tripped mid-race in the women's mile at the weekend. Scarlett Robb, who has opted for this over the 3,000 metre under 20 that she pulled out of earlier. Caitlin Bassett, Beth Garland, Lucy Jerk's been added to this field as well. So a good-sized field for this event. And we're underway in the 1500 metres. And Alison Andrews-Paul has gone straight to the front, and she's in the role of pacemaker this evening, so we'll see how long she will take them into this race with Izzy Thornton-Bott tucking into the trail, and Taylor Werner in third spot, coming down the straight the first time. Bridget Dennehy into fourth, wants to stick with the leaders as well. And then Saki Katakahara, the Japanese athlete, currently lying in fifth position ahead of Bo Ritchie.
So just a click under 50 seconds there for Alison Andrews-Paul as she sets the pace here in this women's 1500 metres. Big field as they head now onto the back straight for the second time.
Thornton-Bott trailing Alison Andrews-Paul, then Taylor Werner in third, Bridget Dennehy in fourth, Katakahara currently fifth, and Bo Ritchie working hard. The 17-year-old, she turns 18 next month. She's done some super things already this season, especially down at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Championship, as she continues her progress.
Yeah, 2:05, 800 there down at the New Zealand Secondary Schools in the 800. A huge challenge. World Juniors last year. She had a massive 2024. She'll be looking to use this race to move up.
So Andrews-Paul leading through with 800 metres left to go, from Thornton-Bott from Australia, Werner from the US, and Dennehy of New Zealand. And these four, they've broken away on Katakahara, Bo Ritchie, and Scarlett Robb. Alison Andrews-Paul has pulled off the track with 600 metres remaining, probably 700. And Thornton-Bott takes up the running, second in the Cook's Mile to Lyndon Hall, who's not here tonight. Werner was fourth in that mile. Andrews-Paul finishing third and claiming the New Zealand Mile Championship ahead of Bridget Dennehy. Claimed the silver in that. And Dennehy is staying tight with them. Bo Ritchie's moved into fourth ahead of Scarlett Robb. It's bell lap in the 1500. Thornton-Bott and Werner. Dennehy just dropping off that pair. Youngsters Ritchie and Robb giving good chase. And the Japanese athlete Katakahara in sixth. Down the back straight, 250 metres to go. Thornton-Bott and Werner, they'll fight it out. Dennehy looking to hold third. Bo Ritchie's closing in on her. Scarlett Robb another 5 metres behind Ritchie. Down the side though, Thornton-Bott and Werner. Has the American got a response, Sarah?
Oh, I like the look of the American as she comes round this top bend. It's a battle and she strides it out.
So Taylor Werner of the United States will pull clear on Australia's Izzy Thornton-Bott. And look at Bo Ritchie's finish past Bridget Dennehy. And Bo Ritchie will take third and the first New Zealander home. Dennehy will be fourth. Scarlett Robb in fifth position. And Katakahara coming home in sixth. Beth Garland, next one through. Followed in there by Nina Chalmers. So Taylor Werner, 26-year-old out of the United States, 4th on the mile at the Cooks at the weekend. She has a personal best of 4:10.32, which was set in Finland last July. Former Pan American under-20 champion over the 3,000 metres going back about 7 years.
So great execution there by Taylor Werner. Great to have her in New Zealand. She's 26 and she gives the double thumbs up for the camera. She really looked strong on that home straight.
Good, just strategic race from her, setting 3rd, then 2nd, of course, when the pacemaker stepped off the track. Didn't have to take the lead at any stage until the home straight.
Sit and kick, and here we see it. Just really able to keep moving forward. And a lot of pain at this stage, but Taylor Werner, and the Aussie in 2nd, and I think there will be a PB for Bo Ritchie, it looks like. Once we have the times, we will confirm that. And we see now the women's high jump results. First was Maddie Wilson, the season's best of 184. Imogen Skelton and Toby Stolberg both jumped 177. Season best for Imogen, who placed higher on countback. And great PB there for Taylor Trout. Down in 6th, but 159 for a new personal best, as we see Maddie Wilson there, throwing all the stuff back in the bag.
Taylor's 16. I see she turned 17 on Saturday, Taylor Trout. Should be right with her personal best, but really good performance from Maddie Wilson in the conditions tonight.
Yeah, great jumping. Her first time clearance at 184 was bang on. Ran a great run up. It all starts in the run up. She hit the curve and got on the right position, leaning away from the bar, hit the takeoff, went straight up and over. So her night is done, and it looks like she's getting drug tested, which is an important part of the sport. So she will not be leaving the stadium anytime soon.
Jack Bruce, I see in the 1500 ran 3:53.22, and that result through 3:53.22 for Jack Bruce out on his own. First Kiwi home, Callum Stewart, 4:02.03, and Tom Strawbridge home in 3rd, 4:02.45. Had a personal best for Raina Kravitz, the Estonian athlete who's out here at the moment, 4:11 and 23 for him. And then over the page, a personal best for Joel Carman, 4:17 and change, and for Australian Jordan Lee. Kyle McIntosh, Guy Lester, Ben Kimber and Will Sablerell Stone, who won the 2-mile mixed at the Cooks Classic. He also posts a PB. Sarah, we've got the 800 metres coming up, the 5th and final of the Team Ledger Harcourts World Athletics Continental Bronze Men's Tour race. Julian Baker in lane 1 alongside Justin Cunningham. Jacob Ritter lane 2, Hamish Murray lane 3. Young Sam Ruth, who we've got eyes on, lane 4, who ran an extraordinary 151.23 at the New Zealand secondary schools. Joe Martin has saved himself for this race with an outstanding personal best of 150.11. This young Australian, he can run. Daniel Williams, looking forward to seeing him lane 6 at 147.08 and change. We've got a couple in lane 8, and I believe Max Karamanolis will be the pacemaker here, Sarah, with Jag Willers alongside him. So we do have a mixed relay after this, but the last feature event of the night, and it's a beauty.
Now, you were at Whanganui in the weekend at the Cooks Classic, so you watched Sam Ruth run a 4:01 mile. What was it like to see him in action?
It was truly incredible to see him running as a 15-year-old. And at one stage we're thinking, you're kidding, could he actually break 4 minutes for the mile? He was not a mile outside it. Obviously embraced by the winner, Sam Tanner. They train together out of Tauranga there. But yeah, prodigious talent. But we've been talking a lot about his dad, Ben Ruth. But the other side of the family's pretty sharp too, Sarah.
Yes, that's right. So young Sam Ruth's mum has got some great running genes in herself, a winner of the Auckland Marathon, as we see the women's 1500 metre results on your screen there.
Meeting record, Sarah.
Meeting record.
Yeah, well done to Taylor Werner with a meeting record 4:16.57 over Thornton Bott, 4:18.05, and Bo Ritchie, as you mentioned, a personal best, another for her, 4:23.58. Bridget Dennehy fourth, and Scarlett Robb a good run as well.
So back to Sam, second page of results, because we want to acknowledge these athletes in this 1500.
Yes, some good personal bests down there too for Saskia Cosgrove Drayton, Sarah Hay and Lucy Jerk as well. So congratulations. But let's get back to Sam as we see Taylor.
Okay, so she's getting a little tap on the shoulder from the drug testers as well, which is great. But Sam Ruth's mother, Jessica Ruth, was a talented runner in her own right, actually maiden name Wright, and her mother, Rosemary Wright, was actually the gold medalist in the 1970 Edinburgh Commonwealth Games. Ran 2 minutes flat in around the 70s. So that's an incredible pedigree.
Yes.
The grandfather, so the maternal grandfather, Trevor Wright, is also a distinguished athlete and also held a world record for the fastest marathon on debut. So,
wow.
Bit of running history in the family, let's just say.
Isn't there?
No pressure though.
No, indeed. Young Sam is in lane number 4, 227. He will wear in the New Zealand Secondary Schools Tour singlet. Runs though out of Athletics Tauranga. Joe Martin next to him in lane number 5, also in that New Zealand Secondary Schools singlet. Bib 185. Carter Mickelson out of the USA. Bib 192 there. He ran 1:53.54 PB in Toronto, Canada last July. The pair on the outside, Jag Willers and Max Karamanolis, running the 8-2. That means lane 8, and the second runner in lane 8, and he is going to be pace-making probably through the first 400, I would say. So we draw to a conclusion the 21st Michael Edger Harcourts Capital Classic.
So I have seen James Preston, Olympian and national record holder, in the crowd today. Local lad, and he'll be keeping a sharp eye on this race here. Men's 800.
Bit keen. Toes over the line, so called back. And we're underway in the Team Ledger Harcourts World Athletics Continental Bronze event. Max Karamanolis out in lane number 8, expected to go forward and lead. Daniel Williams, though, the fast Australian at the moment, is prominent. Karamanolis crosses him now, and Sam Ruth works his way through to third. Followed through then by Luca Everett, young local, who is 18 and has run a 1:51.68. Karamanolis from Daniel Williams, a lap to run. Sam Ruth is lying third. Joe Martin fourth. Karamanolis comes off the track. Australian Williams leads. Ruth on his back. Then Joe Martin. Beside him is Hamish Murray, lying fourth at the moment. And Luca Everett is fifth. Daniel Williams pulling clear, puts about 3 metres here on Sam Ruth. Joe Martin looking to wind up now. Williams leads, Martin and Ruth. It's the Australian Daniel Williams who'll come through and win from Joe Martin. Sam Ruth will be third. Fourth to go by Hamish Murray, then Luca Evatt and Jag Willers. A fine run from Williams. Won under 18 gold medals, 800 and 1500, the Australian Championships in 2023, ran fourth in the Youth Commonwealth Games. And he ran a 147.08 in Canberra on Saturday. Did you get a look at the clock, Sarah?
I was watching, and then I flicked over to that battle with the young guns, Martin and Ruth. But that's some impressive running by Williams. He's in great form. Really held it out there in the front. And wonderful to have him in New Zealand at the Capital Classic as we wait for confirmation of those times. But a big field here in this 1500 with the victor, in this 800. The Aussies take the top though.
Ethan Olivier with an early jump of 16.41, unfortunately retired during the competition with what appeared to be an ankle injury, but takes the win nonetheless. Teta Anang, 15.78, pulled that out late in the competition. And Valerie Olivier third with a 15.61. And then back to Ryan Young in fourth with 13.82. And that meeting record should be next to Ethan Olivier. It's so dark I can't see the meeting records anymore, Sarah.
Yeah,
but,
I'll give
try.
you a hand there. 15.60
so
from Aotearoa of Australia.
Very comfortably a meeting record to Ethan. So congratulations. We've still got one event left to come. It's a mixed 4x400 relay, and we've got, I believe, 3 teams here. New Zealand Secondary Schools A, New Zealand Secondary Schools B, and the local Mana Athletics Club.
So the mixed 4x4 relay is a great addition to the World Athletics program. If you didn't watch Femke Bol come home like an absolute steam train in Paris, you missed something special.
Just one of my favourite moments.
My husband's favourite, actually. Apart from Hamish Kerr, of course.
Of course. Yes, and let's talk about that while we're here, because you did call him over the bar winning the gold medal, which has never been done in the high jump before for New Zealand, and first track and field gold medal since 2012, Dame Valerie Adams. So these are very unique moments, and you were part of that, which must be quite a special occasion. Even though you've been an Olympian yourself competing, you're on the other side of the microphone now. How was it?
It was extraordinary. It was such a privilege, first of all, to be in Paris. I was there to support the team, but also working with the Olympic Broadcasting Service. And by the time Hamish came on that last evening of track and field, the excitement levels had already been built. Maddie Weshy had got the silver the day before, and the way Hamish went about that competition was something special. For me personally, it was a career highlight to be able to call that, also be part of the broadcast. But also, I think the most special thing is always about the people you get to work with. Just like today, there was an extraordinary crew, and I was very, very lucky to be there.
And it was fabulous to have you there, especially for that moment, Sarah. Rebecca Bailey won the Women's Open Javelin earlier on tonight. Now, that's 39.68. Does have a PB there, but I don't think that's been updated since the Cooks Classic, where she ran through 41 and change there. Mia Bartlett, 37.24, and Chelsea Moana Nanu, 34.60 personal best for her. And Juliet McKinley was throwing the 500-gram implement, and she put it out to 35.57. Some medal ceremonies taking place while the last event gets organised. And 4x400 mixed relay isn't an easy thing to organise, Sarah.
No, an athletics meeting isn't easy to organise. So to the organisers, we thank you so much to those people who have turned up tonight to be part of this event. It's wonderful to have you, and we hope that you can get along to another meeting around New Zealand over the summer. But it's a great event to have on the schedule, and great to see some teams rolling up. You've got to get those transition relay exchange zones bang on. Keep to the rules as we see the start list now for this mixed open 4x400 mixed team. And you know, you have to think with the likes of Lex Revel-Lewis, Tommy Tapuni, maybe we can convince some women to step up and get, you know, the 400-metre women, you know, the likes of Rosie Elliott, Isabel Neal, Cameron Smart, those women.
Portia Bing will do a lap for you.
Alison Andrews-Paul, she's
Absolutely.
always up for a 400.
Yeah.
But this could be something viable for New Zealand in the future.
Yeah. So using the outside 3 lanes for our final event. Of course, our chief organiser here, Tony Rogers, General Manager of Athletics Wellington. He's kept this event going 21 years with some outstanding sponsors. Our chief sponsor's been with us for 12, but many other sponsors as well, which have hung in there in difficult times, Sarah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so such a credit to Tony and his team that he's been able to retain those sponsorships, but also to the sponsors, the valued commercial partners who this event could not be run without. Thank you.
So our final event for tonight's Capital Classic underway, 4x400 mixed relay. We've actually got 4 teams here, so they've conjured up another team on us, Sarah, which
nothing like right.
makes it tough for the commentators.
That's all right. I'm always happy with when we get extra people running. That looks like Sam Ruth out the back. Or maybe I'm dreaming. This is what happens when we don't have the start list, but wonderful to have 4 teams.
It isn't Sam, but it actually does look like
Okay,
Sam.
thank you.
It's a runner who looks like Sam.
It's not Sam Ruth.
It's the Mana team, the local team, who are going to come through after the first leg of the mixed. Thank you, Sarah. A little bit of light on the subject. Very useful. So it's a local Mana team leading this 4x400 mixed relay. Soon to come to the halfway point. Mindful too that we've got an 800-metre result to bring to you, which we will. Times coming through for that, and we'll show you that to you off the back of this mixed 4x400 relay where the Mana team, local Mana Athletics team, has led throughout to date. And we'll have about a 15 to 20 metre lead going into the final leg.
So we've thrown in a few extra teams here today, but we haven't thrown in the names, so we apologise. We're not able to identify these athletes, but it is the Mana team, full of Mana, coming up the home straight here.
It's an impressive win from the local team. Heading home a selection of New Zealand's secondary schools athletes. I'd say a carefully hatched plan, Sarah, from the locals.
Yeah, good on them. They know their track best, and it's been wonderful to see so many of the New Zealand secondary school athletes out in full force today. A classics tour.
And that result of the 800 metres with Australian Daniel Williams winning in 1:49.06 over Joe Martin 1:50.26. And would you know it, Sarah Cowley-Ross, Sam Ruth posts another personal best at 1:50.57. Just a reminder, he is 15 years old, and a personal best to Hamish Murray too. Congratulations, Hamish. 1:51.98. Jag Willers also 1:54.61, and down the bottom Jacob Ritter. And Justin Cunningham, who ran a really good mile on Saturday night from memory, also a PB. And Julian Baker rounding out that field, with Max Karamanolis being the pacemaker and pulling out a lap in. Team photo for the 4x400 mixed relay. Victorious team there in the blue and white singlets of Mana Athletics.
So again in that 800, so many PBs and SBs beside these competitors' names. And there's been a lot of that tonight, hasn't there, Mark?
There has, and despite not perfect conditions. I mean, better conditions than we could have sometimes in Wellington. It gets worse.
I've seen it way worse than this.
Of course. But the athletes have performed, and we've had really strong performances, particularly from young members of the New Zealand athletic fraternity, and we also saw some high quality, of course, from Taylor Werner in particular, out of the US with a meeting record. Ethan Olivier also a meeting record from him in the triple jump, and an injury which hopefully won't keep him out for too long. And that's Jack Bruce receiving congratulations, having won the 1500 metres tonight, the Australian visitor who ran a sub 4-minute mile in Wanganui at the weekend. So Sam Ruth with a personal best, and Bo Ritchie with a personal best over the 1500 as well, Sarah, furthering their pedigree.
Yeah, I was on Bo's flight down today, and she's looking forward to the season ahead, heading into her last year at high school. So another extraordinary talent, and there's lots of them around the traps, and it's wonderful to see them out here keen to race and keen to get amongst it, which is great.
And the outright highlight for me tonight, Lex Revel-Lewis.
Yep.
He didn't quite claim that 400 metre record we so desired, but at 46.11, just 2/100ths of a second out, and a really good run, particularly at the stage of the season.
So now we have Sean Farrow on 46.09, Bevan Smith on 46.10, and now Lex Revel-Lewis 46.11. So he's inching his way up there, and it's only a matter of time. Hopefully we see another battle between him and Tommy Tapuni, because I think that rivalry certainly is bringing out the best in Lex tonight, but maybe it might be Tommy in the future with his speed that he has shown in the early season, in the later stages of 2024. That's certainly a battle I'll be keeping an eye on as we progress through this athletics season.
So wrapping up the evening here, the 4x400 mixed team relay, and Mana Athletics led throughout there for a pretty comfortable victory in 3:44.48. Was the C team that they cobbled together that ran second, Sarah, so they got bragging rights there amongst the secondary schools team with 3:49.30 ahead of the A team and B team, so called, but congratulations to them for rounding out this successful program tonight. So we'll wrap up here. I'm Mark Rosanowski, and with me has been Sarah Cowley-Ross. The World Athletics Continental Tour 2025. We had 5 bronze events tonight. We're going to move through to the Potts Classic in Hastings on Saturday. I hope you can join us for the coverage. But Sarah, quick wrap from you.
Well, it's been wonderful to have another edition of the Team Ledger Capital Classic. 21 years this event has kept going. Thanks very much to the meeting director for his enthusiasm, for his energy, and for giving athletes the opportunity, like tonight, to do a performance which is their best, which is their best of the season. And we look forward to plenty more of that over the Summer Circuit Series in Aotearoa, New Zealand for 2025.
Thanks to director and camera crew, and until Saturday, mate wa. Remarkable how many meeting records have been bettered.